I just got wind of this here blog post from Capcom. Seems like it's on Steam. Going over Terry's move list, and they kind of go over some certain things. I'm definitely curious about what this dude's finna do. I mean, obviously I watched the trailer. It's very exciting to see what he has. I don't know his full kit, but at least in detail in terms of what it does. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a full detailed breakdown here. So we're just gonna get right to it. What's going on here with Mr. Bogard? In Street Fighter 6, by the way. Alright, Terry Bogard will show he's Bark, Bite, and Fang when he scores a slam dunk in Street Fighter 6 on September 24th. Can't wait for September 24th. Alright. Buster Wolf Terry Bogard from SNK's Fatal Fury series will show his Bark, Bite, Fangs, on September 24th. As the second character in Year 2 DLC, Terry is also the first guest character to ever grace a Street Fighter game, and his inclusion will surely create waves, power waves, of course. I mean, there's other technicalities behind Terry, but we ain't gonna get into it. It's not that major right now. But let's see what else we got here. Terry made his debut in Fatal Fury, King of Fighters 1991, where he entered the King of Fighters tournament in order to seek revenge for the death of his father, often with a cheerful disposition. Terry gets along with most people, forming bonds over shared loss and similar goals alike. Yeah, that sounds like Terry. Yeah, that even sounds like Terry. Searching for a new adventure, Terry decides to hop on over to Metro City, where he meets a familiar face he hasn't seen in 20 years. Play him in arcade mode and in World Tour to find out what shenanigans he gets into and what moves your avatar will learn from him. Okay. I see what they're doing here with Ken and Terry. Okay. Iconic moves and target combos. Alright, the meat and potatoes. Alright, let's get it. Let's get it. With 7 special moves and various target combos at his disposal, Terry is a force to be reckoned with in terms of both offense and defense. One of his target combos, Passing Sway, allows him to jump into the background of the stage or in another lane. Okay. And choose to reappear on the other side of his opponent with jumping lariat or jumping knee. This unique mechanic comes directly from the Fatal Fury series. So yes, that's true. So in Fatal Fury, one of the biggest mechanics was it had lane switching. So for those of you not familiar with it, right, watching this, essentially it is a 2D fighting game, yes, but you can fight in 2 different planes. You can fight in the foreground or the background. And you can kind of move around. Basically, like your character gets a whole nother like animation. So they're not just like this, looking at each other, and then they go like this and it's flat. The characters actually like will square up with each other based on which way they're facing. So if one character's in the background and one's in the foreground, you'll catch the, you know, they're like backside, right? Another guy will be in the front, so actually it's kind of the same thing. It's pretty neat that they brought that in here. I'm really shocked to see this mechanic in the game. I thought that he would probably have some other KOF mechanic or Fatal Fury mechanic. Most people would assume he'd get a short jump, which will probably be broken in Street Fighter, to be honest with you. It'd be probably really hard to anti-air Terry, so obviously they wouldn't give him something as crazy as that, right? But lane switch is pretty cool. That allows him to bait DPs and things like that. He'll be able to fight in Burnout more, probably better off than most characters, which is, sounds really cool, personally. I can't wait to play him. I'll most likely be maining him. But moving forward, let's get to some of Terry's iconic moves that fans will recognize. Power Wave is a projectile that travels on the ground. You already know about Power Wave. The light version moves slowly. Medium version packs a bigger punch. Using the heavy version, the Fireball Motion will result in Round Wave, a blast Terry sends in front of him that is plus on block. Yeah, so basically Round Wave is what that is. It's a mini Power Geyser in a sense. Something he's had in majority of his, you know, games, not just Fatal Fury, King of Fighters alike, but obviously they're pulling inspiration from Fatal Fury. So with that being said, it's pretty neat seeing his Fireball and how they work. Quick Burn is a 1-2 punch performed with the Tatsu motion and light punch. The second punch is an overhead, testing your opponent's ability to block. Performing a Tatsu motion with the medium or heavy punch will see Terry using Burn Knuckle. Oh. They really made him an SNK character in Street Fighter. Basically, different strengths of moves, button presses will give him. In KOF, characters do have overlapping moves with certain inputs. So like the A version will give you something, the B version or whatever will give you something different, or A or C since the punches are A and C. the C version might give you a different move. So that's interesting that he has a Rekka attached to his light, and then the medium and heavy is Burn Knuckle. That's interesting. So that makes me wonder if like the EX version of Burn Knuckle is done with medium and heavy, and the Rekka is done with light and medium. Could be a thing. This is neat. Terry uses power charge to ram his shoulder into his opponents. The OD version will result in a wall bounce. I call these things in my video, by the way, you guys. If you guys didn't know, I made a video talking about his moveset and what I think he'll have. A lot of this already is what I thought that he would have. So far, we're getting pretty close. It's pretty close to what I mentioned. But yeah, so the OD version of power charge gives you a wall slam, a wall bounce. He was having trouble with an opponent's fireball game. He can use crack shot, a falling axe kick that can jump over projectiles. So they make crack shot anti-projectile. Oh, you Shoto players, be forewarned. Jury, you might have a trouble now. You might have some trouble. Finally, Terry has a dragon punch in the form of rising tackle. I'm looking pretty spot on here with this kit. I had a feeling that they would make his rising tackle a dragon punch input, because if it was a charge, it might be too good. But then again, it being a DP is also partially too good. But it makes it easier for him to do rising tackle into his supers, because we saw in the trailer he did rising tackle into his level 3. So I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Okay. Terry's level 1's. Terry's level 1 super art Buster Wolf. Oh, so they made Buster Wolf a level 1. Okay, sees him charging forward with the piercing thrust, firing off blast energy. Like other level 1s, Buster Wolf is invincible on startup. Okay, Terry. I thought it'd be level 2. I figured Buster Wolf would help him get through the projectile wars. I figured Power Guys would be level 1, but here we go. For resource hoarders that are hungry like the wolf, Terry's level 2 super art Power Geyser will send opponents flying after a volcanic explosion. If it hits, Terry can expend 3 drive gauge bars to follow up with twin geysers. If that hits, Terry can then spend a 1 super art gauge for the ultimate triple geyser. Oh my gosh. Wow. I had a feeling his level 2 would be unique, but or at least his level 3, right? So it's kind of interesting. They kind of swapped them around. I figured like Buster Wolf would be the level 2 to get through projectiles, but they made it the level 1. Okay, I'm okay with that. Power Geyser level 2. I guess they wanted to make Power Geyser the one that really mattered, right? In terms of like anti-projectile and things of that nature. Power Geyser is definitely one of his signature supers. So I feel like they probably looked at it and was like, people would probably prefer to hear "Are you okay, Buster Wolf" more often than not, from like a gameplay standpoint. So I think that's probably why they made it level 1 instead of a level 2. That makes sense. Or at least it's cool, right? Then Terry's level 3 super art Rising Fang is a lethal sequence of attacks featuring Terry's iconic moves, ending in a blast to the face. So this is basically Tung Fu. If you guys don't know who Tung Fu, it's the guy that trained Terry and Jeff and even Geese. So, and this is taken from, this is the inspiration taken from this was from Fatal Fury the movie. I believe it's the very first one where he fights Geese. So very reminiscent of that. And then outfit 2 and new stage. Now I initially thought it would be West Albuquerque, aka the stage with the train yard where you see like, you know, the Mount Rushmore and stuff like that. I figured that would be a stage, so that's his most iconic stage. But what's interesting is they're pulling inspiration from Fatal Fury Real Bout, Fatal Fury 1, 2, 3, Fatal Fury 1, 2, 3. Like they're pulling inspiration from so many different areas. So my stage, I doubt that. My stage would be something interesting, to say the least. But we'll see. Now, fans of Terry will recognize his outfit too, which is inspired by his appearance in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, where he sports a brown jacket and jeans. Get this outfit in World Tour by maxing out your bond with him or with fighter coins. That's fighter coins. I'm not waiting in World Tour mode for that. That's if I got insta purchase, that's insta purchase. I'm sorry. Like that's just fire. Right. Now, new stage, Pow Pow Cafe. Coming with Terry's new stage, Pow Pow Cafe, a recurring stage in the Fatal Fury series. This is true. See if you can spot all the Easter eggs and cameos. Terry and the new stage can be purchased individually with fighter coins. Of course. Our developers have been fans of the Fatal Fury series, pouring their hearts into this rendition of Terry and Mai, coming soon, obviously. We hope you hop into Street Fighter 6 on September 24th to play the legendary Wolf. And it's pretty much done here. So with all of this being said, what I can say like outright is his mechanics are unique. Having lane switch is pretty cool. You know, the way his level 2 works is interesting in terms of exhausting meter. So like his level 2, basically you wouldn't have to play for level 3 to try to cash out. You can cash out with a level 2. It's gonna cost you resources, but I think that's a very unique way to kind of like do more with Street Fighter 6's drive system, to be honest. Like you don't really, no one in the roster plays like this, you know. So the fact that they exhausted this on Terry is like, wow. Now, outright, I won't lie, from what I saw in the gameplay trailer, he does look pretty strong. Do I see a lot of people trying to pick him up? Probably so. It's going to be a very interesting time seeing Terry take on the Street Fighter cast, to be honest with you. But from looking at it, he seems like he's pretty well equipped to fight a lot of stuff. And for me, he feels like, from what I saw in the trailer and what I've read, he feels a lot like CVS2 Terry, where crack shot's a pretty decent anti-air, rising tackle is also anti-air, power dunk was not anti-air, but it was a Power Geyser was a combo filler. So I'm very interested to see how a lot of all this kind of plays out, but his base gameplay minus the lane swap does seem a lot like CVS2. So me personally, I'll be more at home, you know. I'll definitely be at home. And I feel like for me in particular, it's kind of something I've been looking forward to for a long time for this game. It's just having a character that like I feel comfortable with, like beyond having to learn like a character that's for Street Fighter 6, right? Like it's cool when you have, which, you know, this leads me into another discussion, but I'm not gonna get too deeply into it, right? Obviously this is great for me as an SNK fan. Obviously I like, you know, Capcom games too, right? But in regards to that, right, you know, DLC is very important, and like getting your character into the game is also very important, right? Or to whatever capacity important to you as a fan, right? So let me make sure I set that correct, right? So for me, it's really good. I also have Kimberly, who does function like Guy, but it's not Guy. I found my stride with her. I've gotten to my groove with her. I do feel good when I play the character, right? And I recently just picked up Ed again, so it does feel good to be able to play characters that feel, you know, I'm comfortable with those characters. But even more so when you have characters that you really, really like. Like, I don't see myself getting Relento, for example, in Street Fighter 6. But Terry and Mai in particular are characters that I've played forever. So seeing them in Street Fighter is like, oh, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to stress out about not having a character that I can be comfortable with. And I think that's what a lot of people want for Street Fighter 6 anyways, to have characters that they're personally comfortable with. I know this season 2 pass, which again, I'm not gonna get too deep into it. Like, a lot of people were feeling some kind of way about, you know, Terry and Mai on top of like Bison and Elena. But like, my thing has always been like, I'm kind of iffy about Bison, but I feel like he was a shoo-in regardless. Terry and Mai were definitely left field. Elena was definitely what character that people just don't want because they don't want to deal with like nuances of Street Fighter 4. But I feel like when we see how they play, much like Terry and Bison, it's like, oh, okay, I see what you guys are going for. And I mean, for what it's worth, for the amount of moaning and groaning people had about Bison, let me tell you, as someone that's at EVO, that went to EVO this year, there was a mountain of Bison players. A mountain. And just recently, Shanghai just won Esports World Cup with both Ken and Bison, right? So you can, with that being said, yeah, there may be griping, but people really like playing. So I feel like it's gonna be the same with Terry. People probably had their, you know, their distaste for it, but saw how he played. Now they're like, oh man, You know, I can see Twitter right now. Oh man, Terry top 1, Terry top 1, Terry's top 1. There's no way Terry's not top 1. I'm sure that's what's being kind of thrown around right now, but I don't really care about that nearly as much as just enjoying playing a character that I'm comfortable with and like I have a history with, you know. It's like playing Ken your entire career of playing like Street Fighter, and it's like, well, he's in, you know he's gonna be in the game, you know. But Terry's left field, so it's like it's the perfect opportunity for me to like try to work a little bit harder Street Fighter 6 on the competitive side of things, and also content, because it's gonna be fun to make content with Terry. Terry's cool. I mean, he's definitely like the new. In the most recent times, Terry's definitely become a character where like he's been featured across a lot of different games, and I think that's cool. I don't really find that to be a bad thing, and he looks like he fits the Street Fighter just fine. So me personally, I'm just waiting to see, you know, more gameplay of him. I can't wait to play him myself. You know, September 24th is gonna be like a wild day for me. You know what I mean? I'm definitely gonna be like grinding this dude out, trying to figure out like what works and what doesn't, you know what I'm saying, and all of the good stuff. So I know I kind of went on with a ramble here, but like Avengers Endgame, I'm very excited for this character. I'm like super excited to play him. Like, this is so cool. It's so cool. You know, for what it's worth, I hope we get more of these guest characters from SNK, personally. You know, I'd love to see Rock, maybe even Preacher, you know, or Geese. Geese in Street Fighter sounds dope. You know what I mean? Especially with New Bison. It'd be cool to see them. Now, obviously, that would be dipping into like another Capcom versus SNK, but I feel like at that point, with them being in the game, it wouldn't be too far off for them to be a Capcom versus SNK. You know, 3 that is. So I have so much to say about that, but I'm gonna say that for another video, another time. But yeah, let me know how you guys are feeling in the comments below. Are you excited for Terry? You know what I'm saying? Did you guys enjoy the trailer as much as I did? Are you liking the combos he's got? Like, look at his animations are wild. Talk to me, man. Let me know. You know, let's start a conversation, man, because I'm excited. I'm hella excited, dude. Oh, finally. This is just, oh, this is good news. This is good news. So I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. You already know what it is. Deuces, gooses.